is 99% done or redone. We're just waiting for the nano door on that, and that'll take care of that whole thing, which will make I gotta run out first thing. I need a tool. I thought there was one in the garage, but no, it wasn't. So hopefully this isn't one of those hunting and searching operations, and that they have one. Well, I got the tool I needed. It's a mud mixer. It looks like a industrial egg beater, and I can't believe it. Hopefully it's mismarked, but because I just charged it. It was $87. Okay, off to that accounting meeting I was supposed to have Saturday, so hopefully that all goes well, and then I'll just have to finish up paperwork. Well, everything's going well. There was one board that had to be replaced because, well, a hole got drilled in the wrong place for a light. But other than that, that's relatively minor. Plumbing is getting done, so I can finish off those walls hopefully tomorrow. That would be nice. Today wasn't a real exciting day, so I think what we're going to be talking about during this video is I've been getting a lot of questions about construction, so we're going to talk a little bit about construction here. Coffee. Anyway, I thought we would talk a little bit because I've had a lot of questions lately about construction again. And I can't impress upon you enough that when your building here is nothing like building well, I shouldn't say. The process is basically the same. You've got the foundation, walls, roof, windows, etc. But that's about it. So I'm sort of going to go through how the process works. And like I told somebody the other day, the easiest part of the whole process is buying the land, okay? But there's certain things that you need to look out for when you're buying the land. One of those things is proximity to electricity and water. Now, maybe the water isn't all that critical, but if you want to have electricity, if you're way off the grid, then you either have to have a generator or something with solar. So remember that when you're pricing your parcel of land. Oh, this is only going to cost me this many thousands to buy this piece. Yeah, and how many thousands is it going to cost you to bring electricity down there? Okay, so that's one of the things. What's the terrain like of the land? If it's a lot that goes like this, and you want to build on the top, well, you got to build a foundation that goes on that. All of these things are extra costs, and you have to build in certain ways here. You have to get a permit. You have to have either a Bahamian draftsman or a Bahamian architect. I don't care if you're the best architect in the world, like you're world famous. You still have to have that done here. Then those plans have to be approved. Now, most of the time those plans can take a month, but they can take months to get approved, because if they don't have a quorum for the meeting, they can't approve the plans. So until you get those plans approved, you can't really start the project. Also, if you've got a driveway, well, you've got to have a bulldozer come in, clear it out, put it's gravel, but they call it curry here, It's the white stone, if you've been here, that gets squashed down. How long is the driveway? You know, you got a 50-foot driveway? Well, that's one price. You got a 400-foot driveway? Well, that's going to be another price. And then you've got to think in terms of who's going to do the construction. Is it going to be somebody who said, oh, yeah, I can do that for that price? Or is it going to be somebody who's going to give you a contract price for the entire job? Contract prices around here are somewhat rare because in order to do a contract, you have to know every piece that you're putting into that project. Without all those pieces, how are you going to give somebody a price to do it? And like I've said before, pretty much bottom of the barrel is like $250 a square foot. And, you know, that's pretty bare bones minimum. You're not getting a lot of extras. And I know a lot of people say, well, I'd like to have a wraparound porch, or I'd like to have this, I'd like to have that. All of those like to have type things increase the costs. And what you have to remember, like right now, in the next year, I don't know what will happen after that, but right now we have the Encouragement Act for construction here. So you eliminate the duty on shipping materials that pertain to construction stuff here. That's going to save you a lot of money this year. Now, if you figure like the way it used to be was a piece of plywood, you added 25% duty, plus now we're up to 12% VAT, so 12% VAT. So let's say you had $100 worth of plywood. That $100 worth of plywood has to get shipped. Now, let's suppose the shipping on that was $150. So now your plywood's worth, remember, because you add the shipping to the value. So now that plywood is now worth $250. Now you take that and you've got a broker fee anywhere from $60, $80 and up, depending on the load that you're bringing in. And then on top of that, you have 12% VAT. So pretty soon you can see that your $100 plywood is now probably closer to $300 or more. So that you can eliminate that 25% with this Encouragement Act. So that's going to save you a lot of money in the building part. If you're building after that, well, like I said, that $100 worth of plywood is now going to end up being closer to $300 or more. And then the whole process is much slower than you do in the States, because if you've forgotten anything or you make any changes and that has to be ordered out of the States, you can have weeks of not having that material that you ordered. Because you say, I ordered it, I'll send it to the shipper, the boat in Florida, it'll come over. That's not how it works. Sometimes we've waited 2, 3, 4 weeks because what we've ordered is too small, or they don't have room on the boat, or God only knows what. But that's how it works. So the whole process, and then you have to decide too, one of the other aspects is, are you building with block or are you building with wood? Everybody has a preference on that, which I get. Block is much slower, but a lot of people prefer the block. They think the hurricanes aren't going to do anything to it, or termites, or this, that, and the other. The roof is still wood. So, you know, it's one of those things. Wood is a bit cheaper and faster to build with, which thus saves you time on labor, which can then cut your costs down a bit. So there's really so many factors in building a house. And when I price out a project for somebody, I have to go from the driveway all the way up. And then it's up to you. I mean, I've done things for people where I provide a labor price. You put whatever you want. You want $10 a square foot tile? Great, no problem. Send it over. You want this, you want that. Hurricane windows, non-hurricane windows. What type of roof? What type of siding? What type of doors? What type of fixtures in the house? I think you get the idea. There's a lot involved in it, and all of that, because there is no Home Depot here. There's no Lowe's. There's no places like that. So all of that has to be planned for in advance so that you don't have any real big, hopefully, big problems in the process. So it's best when you start doing something like this, to talk to somebody who knows all the ins and outs of how things work here before you do it. Because like I said, buying the land is the simplest part of the process. You buy it, you pay your money, boom, you're done. That's the easiest part. After that, it becomes a whole different thing. So you can also consider, are you going to buy and build your own dream property, or are you going to buy something and renovate it? That's already existing. It's an option. So just remember, this isn't the US. Building is different altogether.